What's up, everybody? Pastor New here, along with
Rima Phillips.
welcome to our Thursday recap. Let's get right to it.
Let's go.
Well, first, I love the shirt.
Thank you. Jesus is King.
You know
Make
what's
sure
funny
everyone
is
knows.
here's the funny story about that. You didn't sign up on the app to get the free shirt from the church, so you felt left out
So
without
I
having
bought my own shirt.
So you went and bought it on Amazon. That's actually really funny. But
It is. But, it shows a level of commitment to the church.
That's
I didn't
right,
want to be
that's
left
right.
out. But let's hop into it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wasn't here on Sunday, but guess what, guys? I watched online because
There
there's
you
a
go.
link in the bottom. We can watch online. We have a great production team that works really hard to make sure the videos come out really good
Yep.
every single Sunday.
Yep, and they make me look good.
And we
Yeah,
make him
all
look
kinds
good.
of filter.
We use a lot of filters, yes. But yeah, let's hop into it.
Yeah.
So you start off the sermon this week by just talking about the difference between religion and spiritual.
Right.
And I'm so happy that you brought that up because in this day and
What does that even
age,
mean?
I don't know. And I'm so happy you brought that up because I don't know. Like when people ask me like, "Oh, are you a religious person?" I'm like, I have a relationship with God, but I don't consider myself a religious person.
Right.
And so I'm really happy you brought that up because when you look at spiritual, meaning like we're trying to become our own gods in a sense
Right,
or find
right.
gods within the world that,
Right.
God created, or religious where you have all these rules and regulations and it has to be this way.
right.
But neither spiritual or religion actually demonstrates
Your relationship with God.
relation with God.
Or with Jesus Christ, your Lord and
You
Savior.
know, so it makes us think like, why do we focus so much on being religious or being a
Spiritual.
part or being spiritual? Like, why do we do that? Something that you said I thought was so cool was that that a lot of people are trying to find meaning of like their own suffering in this world or their own
Right.
pain or what trauma, whatever they may have gone
Reconciling
through.
with pain and suffering.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they search for God.
Exactly.
Right.
But, searching for God in that spiritual way or even the structure of a lot of organized religions, you won't find God there.
Right.
So this brings us to the first part. First point is that why is there evil in this world? That's the biggest reason why people don't believe in God because there's bad things
There's
that
bad
happen in
things,
this
right,
world.
right.
Excuse me if I do get something wrong, but there is a God because there is evil in this world.
Yeah, because you got to have something to compare it to.
Counterbalance,
Right.
like there's evil, there's something like we've seen the evil in the world, so there has to be good in this world,
Right.
and that is God, absolute good.
Yeah, there has to be absolute good to be able to define what's evil. How do we know what's evil?
Unless we know what's good.
Unless we know there's
And God
absolute
is
good.
good.
Right, and that God's good.
Yeah. So referring back to just Psalms 146, guys, not 46, but we don't know the psalmist who wrote it, but just a quick summary is that he was telling how God is found basically when we are in pain, when we're suffering for the people who are going through all those trials. I can't say it word from word, but that he's saying that's where you find God
Right,
and
right.
the goodness of God.
Right.
And one thing that I thought was super, super cool that you had a point about was you said, knowing God is not the ability to philosophically and eloquently explain God, but the ability to rely on God when life hurts.
That's
I love
right.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
It's
that. But
because
so true.
when life hurts, I don't need you to explain to me like the relativity idea or
No.
the idea of the deism or the all-knowing
No.
God.
Yeah, well, even people who don't believe in God, if someone's hurting, you're not going to spit scientific facts of why they shouldn't hurt. You're going to comfort them.
Right.
Like,
I'm searching for God when
Yeah.
life hurts. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
But that's where so many of us find God is when the hurts come in life.
Right,
When
right.
life gets hard, a lot of people, even people don't believe in God, they end up praying to him.
Right.
Because
Right.
they know that he is
Right,
the
right.
the one who can comfort them during their
Absolutely.
hurt.
Right.
Okay, so moving forward, so point number 2, while we are looking for someone to blame, God offered his son.
Right.
How
right.
amazing is that, guys?
Right.
How
Right,
amazing
like
is
the
that?
people that ask Jesus,
Like-
who sinned? Why is this guy blind? Right,
Yeah.
and Jesus says, no one sinned, but I'm going to tell you who's going to reconcile it.
That's it,
Like who's
yeah.
going to heal this? Who's going to reverse this whole chaos in this world? Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the cross is amazing.
It really is. I was thinking about that last night, actually, how, so many people blame, there's a lot of evil in this world, and a lot of people blame God and all I know, that's an understatement. A lot of people blame God. We're like, why is there so much evil, all this other stuff? And, going back to, I want to say, was it, John 9:1-7, the blind man who Jesus healed, everyone, even his disciples, were asking him who sinned for this man to be blind, him or his parents. And God was like, no one sinned. He was blind since birth so that the power of God may be able to be shown through him.
Right.
And just in this world, we have to realize that, there's not always someone to blame, like there's a lot of bad things happen.
Right.
Sometimes we're like, okay, he did it. But,
that's obvious.
when a tsunami comes, who's to blame? A lot of people want to blame God, but, things happen. But the power of God is being able to show through the suffering of the world. And he sent his son, which is
Do you recall
amazing.
the part of the sermon where I was talking about the airplane crash and the babies adopt and all those things? The honest truth is that no one ever talks about the planes that land safely,
Yes.
or the babies that born healthy,
Yes.
and the babies that get adopted.
The quote that you had from Timothy Keller. So it says, one of the main ways we move from abstract knowledge about God to a personal encounter with him as a living reality is through the furnace of affliction.
Yeah. Right? Like
So true. So true.
the higher the pain, the more we seek God. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Only him can reconcile that. Like
And,
he can only him can heal us.
Oh, 100%. Like, I've really started to focus my relationship with God when my life was going like all the way downhill. And that's when I realized, like, man, I need you. But something that you said that I wanted to bring attention to too is that people leave church and leave God the most when life is going well. When everything is out of control, we need God. We're praying, bawling our eyes on our knees every single night. But when things go well, I feel like we tend to separate ourselves from God because we think we got it handled. Like, like thanks God for the blessings. I got it from here. But that's not the way that we should go. We need to realize that we need God during our pain, but also during our times of peace in our life.
Absolutely.
Okay. So last point.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Submitting to God is the answer to our pain.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Submitting to God is the answer to your pain.
Because
that is
on the
it.
contrary, our initial reaction, it's not actually submitting to God, it's blaming God.
100%. We just want to blame him for everything that goes wrong. But, when you submit to God, literally the entire Bible. So again, going on one of your points, but the only God and author of our creation can perfectly restore what he has created. So submitting to God is the only way that he is able to restore you. We are reborn with Christ to heal you. We talk about going through all this childhood trauma and different breath works and healings and all these chakras and all this other stuff to heal it. But, when we submit to God, he's able to just transform us, restore our hearts, mind, body, and soul.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome sermon, huh?
That was perfect.
This week, we're going to close the series of Psalms, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I am excited. I love this, by the way.
So, anyhow, that is all from us. I hope you join us on Sunday, 10 a.m., Johnny O Crew. I hope to see you. Always give a little shout out to the Johnny O Crew that sits right there. 2 of them came this past Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
So it was cool.
I missed it. I know. It was my brother's birthday, guys. I had to go to Tampa.
So, anyhow, that's it from us. You guys have a fantastic week. We'll see you Sunday, 10 a.m.